Is your dryer leaving your clothes wet or running too long? This is Eric the Parts Doctor, and today we're going to show you how to replace the moisture sensor harness on your dryer. These instructions apply to dryers made by Whirlpool, including Maytag, Amana, and more. If you need to purchase a new moisture sensor wire harness for your dryer, you can check out our website, partsdoctor.com, where we sell parts for all major appliance brands. Here at Parts Doctor, we only sell authentic, genuine parts sourced directly from the manufacturer. The moisture sensor harness works with the sensor bars to detect the level of moisture in your clothes. They send the readings to the dryer's control board to help the dryer automatically adjust its drying time to prevent over or under drying. If the moisture sensor harness shorts or becomes damaged, it will send the incorrect readings to the control board and should be replaced. For this repair, we'll need access to the back of the dryer, so you may need to disconnect the vent hose. For this repair, we'll need to disconnect power to the dryer. Be careful when working inside the dryer, as it has sharp edges and may cut you. On the back of the dryer, remove these two screws using a 5/16 driver. Pull the top panel back about 1/4 of an inch. Then lift it up and set it aside for later. Locate and trace these wires from the touchpad and control panel to the main control board. Gently pull on the electrical connectors to disconnect it from the main control board. Use a pair of needle nose pliers to gently depress the wire retainer and remove it from the dryer's frame. Using a 1/4 inch driver, remove these two screws holding the touchpad in place. Gently lift on the touchpad and control panel as you rotate the top away from the dryer. Make sure to guide the wire through the front of the dryer. Find the mid-junction for the door switch here and lift up on the tab to disconnect it. You may need to use a screwdriver. Next, tilt the dryer back and place it on some wood blocks. With access to these 4 screws on the bottom of the dryer, use a 1/4 inch driver to remove them. Next, remove the wood blocks and set the dryer back on the ground. Open the dryer's door. Using a Phillips head screwdriver, remove these 2 screws. Then, close the dryer's door. On the top of the front panel, remove these 3 1/4 inch screws. Lift the front panel up and away from the dryer to remove it, being careful to work the electrical connector through the front of the dryer. Lift to remove the filter from the housing. Depress the tabs on the side of the connector and disconnect the moisture sensor's wire harness. On the inside of the dryer, remove these 2 Phillips head screws. On the outside of the dryer, use a 1/4 inch driver to remove this screw. Then, carefully lift the housing out of the dryer, guiding the moisture sensor connector through this panel. Before disconnecting the wiring harness, take a picture with your phone to reference later. Gently pull on the electrical connectors to disconnect the sensor's harness from the sensor bars. You may need to use a needle nose pliers. If you need to purchase a new moisture sensor wiring harness, you can check our website, partsdoctor.com. We'll leave a link in the description below. You want to make sure that you're searching with the model number from the tag on your appliance to make sure you get the correct part. Before installing the new part, we suggest removing the lint air duct and cleaning or vacuuming around the blower wheel, the bottom of the dryer's cabinet, and inside the duct. It is important to remove lint from the dryer as it is highly flammable and can cause a fire. If you need help removing the lint duct, you can find a link to our video in the description below. Now is a good time to inspect the moisture sensor bars for any damage or residue buildup. You can watch our video on how to clean and replace the bars in the description below. To install, reference the photo from earlier and connect the sensor harness to the sensor bars. Align the housing to the dryer with the moisture sensor connector on the right side of the dryer. Then, guide the connector down through the bulkhead and set the housing in place. Make sure that this seal on the filter housing fits snug against the lint air duct. Reinstall the 2 screws inside the dryer. Next, reinstall the 1/4" screw on the lint air duct. Reconnect the moisture sensor's wire harness. Align the front panel to the dryer and feed the door switch connector up through the bulkhead. Then lift it up slightly so you can set it on these 2 retaining tabs. Install these 3 1/4" screws. Open the dryer's door and reinstall the 2 Phillips head screws. Close the dryer's door and tilt the dryer back and put it up on some wood blocks. With access to the bottom of the dryer, reinstall these 4 screws on the front panel. You may need to push up on the front panel to get it to align properly. Then set the dryer back onto the ground. Guide the electrical connector on the control panel through the front of the dryer. Then align this tab on the bottom of the control panel to the slot on the front of the dryer. Gently slide the touchpad panel into place and install the 2 1/4" screws. Find this retainer on the wire and push it into this slot on the dryer's frame. Gently reconnect the control panel to the main control board. Locate the mid-junctions for the door switch and reconnect it. Align these slots on the bottom of the top panel to the control panel bracket on the top of the dryer. Then slide it forward and reinstall the 2 screws to secure it in place. And that's it for today's video, and if you found this video helpful, make sure to leave a like and comment down below, and for more videos like this, please consider subscribing.